Today on Live from Jenny's Sewing Room, back by popular demand, sorry Hillary and anybody else who cares, I'm going to fix Tim's grill cover. So I looked out and the grill cover was missing and I thought, wonder where that went in the last wind. And I found it underneath the next door neighbor's deck. So I'm going to fix it. But the problem is that there's no way to cinch it tight. Well, there is a way to cinch it tight. Look, here's one little cord, but the other end of the cord is not sticking out. In happy news, the other end of the cord is about that far down. So there are lots of ways that you could get this without special tools, but I have special tools because I'm this way. This is a loop turner. It comes from Joann's or even Walmart. Loop turners and I have had a rather exciting history lately, but it's got a loop on one end and then it's got a little tiny hook on the other end, as you can see. And this hook has a little flippy piece that flips up. So this is especially good for grasping things and pulling them through. So I'm going to insert that loop so I can grab the string and pull it out. Well, it's caught on something now. So I pulled it loose. I'm actually going to push it back and try to grab it a little further back on the string than the very end. And there, I've pulled the string out. So this is my first start, but how am I going to keep the string from just falling back inside this nice cover next time we loosen it up? Let's do some kind of a toggle. Now, most of your home sewists do not have a selection of plastic toggles, but never underestimate the stash of a scout mom and wife. So not very long ago, somebody in my home bought a couple of down-filled comforters that were very inexpensive from Costco for making hammock blankets. And in order to make these hammock blankets, he needed to have these funny little toggle things. And it was cheaper to buy a whole bunch of little toggle things than just one or two. So I have a box full of hammock things. These are the little single toggles. So these little toggles, you'd insert one cord, press it down one cord and locked. So you could do that. I have about 50 of those. I got about 50 of the round version because who doesn't need two options? So again, it's round, you squeeze it, and then it locks. But for this purpose, wouldn't it be nice if you could toggle them both and attach them so they don't get out? Why, yes, it would. And so why don't we get a toggle that accepts two at once? So you push it down, open it up, thread it, and then lock them in place. So then you can loosen and tighten and you're all set. So this lovely Greatest Showman Amazon box is going to go away. Next problem is that this is very, very frayed. So I would like that to not be frayed. So again, things that I have. It's time to make fire. Yes, it is time to make fire. So we're just going to take a little corner of my plastic table, because if my plastic table burns, we're all sad. But we're just going to melt this cord. So let me turn this a little bit so you can see what I'm doing next. So I'm going to trim it just a little. We're going to take the other end and trim it just a little more. There. I'm trying to think if I have something that would be a little safer to put this on rather than just a piece of plastic. How about a metal lid? There we go. No, there's a Coke can on the floor. Because I'm super tidy, I didn't put away my pop can from last night. So that's going to be my safe surface for burning things on. So I'm going to strike a match. And I'm going to very carefully melt this into a small shape. I'm going to squeeze it so it's... There we go. And I'm going to do this one. Melty, 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 melty. Good times, right? I'm going to put out my match. I'm going to make my plastic piece sort of pointy. Ooh, that's great. Look how pointy that is. Can't even see it. Well, anyway, it's nice and pointy. Where's my other one? It's not quite as pointy. We'll see how it works. So now that that's taken care of, and oh yes, my match is still sitting on top of that pop can. I'm going to squeeze this piece. It doesn't really want to go through, but I have options. I can use my loop turner for this too. So I'm going to put my loop turner through the hole. I'm going to keep it squeezed because I don't want to snap my loop turner off. I'm going to hook it. I'm going to attempt to hook it so that it can pull straight through that space. That's the idea here, people. Now, I had a little problem last week before last, with my loop turners and things that were a little too snug for my loop turners, and I broke a whole series of them. So if I break another one, I'm just going to be really sad, and that will be non-delightful. Okay, the loop turner does not want to be successful here, so we're going to dismiss the loop turner before I break my last one. And we might have to melt this guy in a little more pointy manner. Yay, more fire. Anyone who thinks just dudes are people who like to play with fire hasn't hung out with me very much. Because I like to melt things. And I'm going to now use my match, which has been blown out, to turn this into a point instead of my fingers. Because I noticed that my finger got a little hot when I did this before. I didn't burn myself, but it did make my finger warm. But now I can squeeze it and just put that little thing right through the hole. And it comes out the other side super happily. I'm going to do the same thing with the second string, which had a better point. But is also being a little less interested in passing through the hole. Let's just say please very sweetly. Come on, friend. It doesn't even take me 3 matches to start a fire at work, but here we go. I just need to make this tip a little more melty so that more of the string is stiff, so it will pass through that tube a little easier. So I'm breaking my matches everywhere. Hopefully that means my little string is stiff enough to go through the tube. Come on, friend. This is being a little bit finicky for me. Which is odd because this was the side that seemed to have burned in a more pointy manner. I have trouble giving up on my loop turner, that's for sure. It worked. I've pulled it through. And now, thanks to this little toggle, we'll be able to put this on the grill and then pull it tight underneath. And the next time the wind blows, the grill cover won't blow away. Yay! Thank you for watching Jenny's Sewing Room.